Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing well out there. So, I want to give you a core concept that I teach all my clients. This is a core concept to everything I want to show you here on the channel about how to heal, about how to transform, about how to use psychedelics for personal development or spiritual development or trauma healing or any of that. There's a core concept here. It's a metaphor, but it's what we're shooting for. It's what I want you to start to think about in terms of aiming for. So, here's the concept. We essentially have control muscles. We have the ability, we have aspects of our psyche that are built around trying to control outcomes, control situations. Then we have release muscles. We have aspects of our psyche that are about letting go, releasing, expanding, loosening up, flowing, right? Now, I would say in a properly healthy, functioning nervous system, we have a nice range of motion. We have a nice fluid ability to move between and release, control and release, right? What I see over and over and over, and I think this is a cultural illness. I think goes beyond trauma, but it's common in trauma, is we see people who live their lives through this strategy of control so much, so often that they've forgotten how to release. Let me make it super blunt for you. I think the goal with healing, with transformation, with psychological change, or at least the access point, the key, the entryway, is a regulated nervous system. This is really what we're shooting for. And you can't get to regulated through control, through contraction, through tightening, through force. Let me say that again. You can't get to regulated through tightening and contraction and control. You just doesn't work like that. Regulated exists in release. Think about that for a moment. If what you want is to feel comfortable and safe and well-being and peace and ease in your own skin, the pathway there is about letting go. Just saying. So this is a key understanding. And I say this to my clients a lot, and often they get exasperated and they're like, well, how do you do that? And what does that mean? There are things we can do to practice this. There are little interventions we can do to create the experience or kind of point you in the direction of release. But ultimately, it is a discovery. It is a psycho-spiritual, somatic discovery of a state and a way of being and a way of operating your nervous system that I can't do for you, that you have to do for yourself. It is a point of empowerment and healing and a point of liberation to learn how to let go, to expand, to unwind, right? So I want you to start to look at your healing path through this lens of cultivating your capacity to let go. Because again, you can't control your way to healed. What I often see is that people are really so built, their whole identity, all their habit structures, their whole worldview, their whole way of being is built around just control and just contraction and just force. And then that can only get them so far, and either life breaks them down, or literally just the act of being in control so much they start to develop anxiety disorders and a dysregulated nervous system that's trying to force and push all the time, or they have a lot of shame and fear about release because perhaps they were socially conditioned by their family or by society to always be in control, right? And what ends up happening is that you just kind of contract yourself into a corner where that's as contracted as you can get. Again, we want a nice range of motion there. And this is often what I'm helping people to work out and develop and discover is what it means to have a released, expanded nervous system, right? From release, if you want to snap into control for certain moments, there are times that that's incredibly important and useful and right. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you never want to be in control and that you can't be in control. But what I'm saying is that the overuse of your control muscles does not deliver you the kind of well-being, the sense of wholeness, the sense of peace, the sense of joy, the sense of flow, where life gets really good. A lot of that is in the letting go. Letting go, let's like lay it bare here, requires self-trust. It requires the willingness to not know how to do something and figure it out. It requires the ability to be adaptive rather than to already know. It requires being a little messy, maybe, making mistakes, maybe, as part of learning, as part of growing, of course. Um, it requires uh, engaging the unknown. It requires curiosity. It requires playfulness, right? Letting go is an agreement with your nervous system to, recognize what you can't control, because there is a line to what you can control in life, including in yourself. So this is a deep thing that I'm pointing at here. And this is often just kind of a somatic learning thing. It's something we developed early on. It's something that is probably unconscious. You don't even know you're doing it. Even if you are aware of it, you don't know how to undo it or not do it. I get it. But I just want to kind of point this out. And really, while this is somatic, while you could look at, unshielding and unarmoring your muscles, or doing all the somatic stuff to let go of control that way, really what needs to happen is letting go in the mind, letting go in the psyche. It's about expansion, psychological expansion. And this is, you know, psychedelics can be useful towards this end, but really only if you have the really good experiences, right? I guess you could have a scary experience. Maybe that could teach you to let go because you just like you're on the ride, right? But a lot of times what I find is this is what coaches or shamans are trying, part of what they're trying to teach you is how to let go and trust yourself in that letting go state. It's a little bit like skydiving, jumping out of an airplane and trusting that your chute works, that you know how to work it, that you still have time between the moment you jump out the plane and whenever, however far you're going to fall, however long that is, that you have time to pull the ripcord. Right. That's even a little dramatic of a thing, because it's often not even that dramatic. But there's a discovery waiting for you here that's so profound and so good and so beautiful. And I just want to share this with you guys as a PSA, that the direction you need to go in for healing is not control. This is, what I see, again, broadly speaking, a lot of my clients, they want to know, why do I have this issue specifically? What was the exact moment that this issue developed? What are the specific mechanics that are happening in my mind that are causing this to happen? And they want to get really in the nitty gritty and fixing and figuring out, controlling and making right and willpowering their way. That's not the way to go. You want to let go. This is, I think, where mystical experiences and spirituality and psychedelic experiences can teach you about that, because that's how you have a good psychedelic experience. That's how you have a mystical experience. That's how you have a spiritual experience. It's all about letting go. So that's the gift from those experiences. But this is a psychological thing for day-to-day life, right? And I think we all have little glimpses and moments of letting go. And it's a practice. Let's be clear. Just because you start to get a feel for it doesn't mean you're going to be a master of it right away. But this is the direction you want to start to move in. This is the secret teaching of healing, right? This is the thing that, implicitly or explicitly, that you need to know in order to direct yourself in the right direction to get the results you want. And if I can be so bold here, and I was having an awesome conversation with a client last week, and we we're talking about this, and I was making the point that in my experience, and everyone's wired differently, maybe you're not this way. For me, I had the biggest growth in terms of success materially in my life when I learned to let go, right? But engage, right? Think of it like dancing. Like if you're too rigid while you dance, it's going to look awkward. It's going to feel awkward. You're going to miss the rhythm of the music. You're certainly not going to have fun. If you can let go but engage, that's where the flow state is. That's where the dance is. That's where the music comes alive in your body and something transformative and magical and elegant and graceful and beautiful happens. In my experience, that's true with everything in life. Like you hit a flow state when you let go that you just can't through control. And that flow state is yours. That's your nervous system functioning at a higher level. And you deserve to access that. It's beautiful. It's profound. I think it's a tragedy that more people don't live in flow more often. And so this is something that's always available to you and is waiting to be discovered and super resources you to be able to achieve more, to make more money, to make more friends, to have a better time dating, or whatever your goal is in life, to transform your issues, right? All of this is based around letting go, in my experience. Maybe again, maybe you're different, maybe you're wired differently. For me, my nervous system, the way I'm wired, that's been profoundly true over and over and over. So, thought I'd just put this little bug in your ear. Food for thought here. We're at the video here. I hope this helps you. Much love. Take care.